What up, everybody? Steven here, Clean Cut Fitness. I'm actually working on looking at the camera and not the flip up screen, so I'm just gonna move the screen down so I look at the camera. So I'm about to record a couple of series of videos for you all, just answering some general questions that I've been accumulating from people throughout the years of me really establishing myself. Let me show you guys really quick, like a little bit of my transformation I have on the wall here. You guys can zoom in here. This is when I was in college. This was a little bit after I got out of college and started working out a little bit. This was when I moved to California. You can see I was lean, but you know, look at my shoulders weren't full, my chest wasn't full, and I didn't really have much of a V taper. I still had a lot of very, I guess kind of thick kind of hips. And then this is my second bodybuilding show. The first one I got third place here. So this is a little bit of my journey over the last 4 years. But nonetheless, what I want to talk to you all about today is, obviously in the pictures you just saw, I went from not really having abs to having really prominent abs. And not even so much when I'm doing my competition, but in general, like when I'm walking around, even right now while I'm bulking, I'm 205 going on 206 pounds. And I still have, abs. I'm not getting fat, fluffy or nothing like that. I'm just getting thick and solid, which is good. But how do you get abs? So the first video I'll do is how, the real reason on how you get abs. Now, here is the foundation of everything. Everybody already is born with a skeletal structure that comes with abs. So, for you to say that you don't have abs is politically incorrect, because everybody's already genetically born with a set of a sheet of muscle that is over your skeletal structure. So you already have abs. Now the thing is, you don't have abs that show. Now, just like anybody else, the mesomorph, ectomorphs, and endomorphs, your muscle definition that's like in your arms and your chest and your shoulders, it's the same for your abs. So if you're somebody like my friend Terrence, he has genetically he's a mesomorph, so by nature his muscles are more fuller naturally, just without him doing anything extra. His muscles are more fuller. He looks like a more athletic build. And whenever he diets down a little bit, he can get to 12-13% body fat and his abs will be protruding. He has big, full muscle bellies. Somebody like me, who's an ectomorph by the purest of definitions, I have to really, really work on building my muscles, including my ab muscles, to make them bigger, to be more protruding, the lower my body fat gets. So how do you get your abs to reveal is the best question. You always hear people say, abs are made in the kitchen. Abs are made in the kitchen. And that is not technically the correct statement. Abs are enhanced in the gym, because you already have them, so they're not made. You already have them. Abs are enhanced in the gym and they're revealed in the kitchen. So we all know, whether you say it's 80% or whether you say it's 70%, books will tell you different things. When I was reading my NASA personal training book, it said 70-30 was the split. But majority of your leanness and your how prominent your muscles are is going to be your body fat level. So it's going to really depend on how much or how less. It's going to depend on the lower body fat percentage. Let's say that, because the least amount of fat that you have around your muscles is really going to determine how your muscle shows. Because you're going to see guys in the gym, or ladies in the gym, they're mostly going to be guys who are really, really husky and they're strong as ever. And if their body fat's probably like 30%, 25-30%, chunky guys, football player type guys. Then you see guys like basketball players who burn through a lot of muscle, but they're really, really lean and they're kind of ripped up, but they're not big. And that is because of the kind of exercise that they do. So it's really going to depend on you actually deciding that you're going to change your diet first and foremost. 70-80% of your physical makeup is your diet. So what you want to look like, the outer portion of what people see, like your bicep, peak, or your chest fullness, that is mostly determined from your diet. Now, obviously, you still need to put in 100% effort in the gym, but that only makes up about 20 to 30% of the equation. So I promise you, I was backstage at the USA's, right? USA Championships in Vegas. If you don't know what that is, it's one of the biggest amateur bodybuilding shows in the year. It's a pro qualifier. And I heard a guy having a conversation. He said he hadn't worked out his abs, like actually doing the ab workout, his entire prep, and he can only count on his hand maybe 5 or 6 times that he's done ab exercises in a year. This is July. That's 6 months that he's done maybe 3 to 4 days of actually working his abs. And he says what people don't realize is you're getting an ab workout on a lot of things that you do. When you're doing squats, whether you're doing standing presses, a lot of exercises that you do require your core to be engaged. If you're engaging your core during any sort of exercise, you're training your abs. You're not getting them bigger in a sense, but you're training them. You're conditioning your abs, so they're going to be nice and prominent when you get lean enough. But I promise you, if you go in the kitchen and you go into a caloric deficit, just like 500 calories lower than your maintenance level, go into a deficit, and you do that for long enough, you add in some cardio, you keep your water intake high to where you're not retaining water, and I promise you, you can get a very nice flat stomach. Now, if you go into the gym, you can do 1,000,000 crunches, but guess what? You have like you have this like, if you ever seen like somebody really really lean, and you seen like, you can see the individual blocks of abs, you can see the lines in between. You have those lines get filled up with fat when a person gets is adding weight and body fat to their frame. Those sections get just filled in with fat. So when they're filled in with fat, it doesn't matter how prominent your muscles are, you have built up fat in, around, and on top of your already ab structure that you already have in place. Everybody already has a structure in place. You can't change what your abs look like. You can make them bigger, you can make them more conditioned, but you can't change the shape of them. So you're getting fat to fill around in these areas. And it doesn't matter how many crunches you do. It doesn't matter how many crazy leg hanging lifts you can do. All you're going to end up with is a very, very strong core that nobody can see. It's like doing 1,000,000 bicep curls, but your body fat never gets under 30%. You're going to have huge arms, but nobody's going to be able to see, not like the cuts, like the drop off part about here on your arms. You can see the muscle separation. You can really see, because I'm lean all the time, so you can really see just the separation in each individual muscle because I'm lean. If I was 25-30% body fat, it just look like arm, just like a hot dog or something, just no cuts or nothing. So my thing is, listen, put more emphasis on your diet than you are training. You hear it all the time, but I promise you're never going to hear anything different. It's, in my opinion, it's 80% nutrition. It's 80% what you eat, because your diet is going to control everything, and you're enhancing everything by tying in that 20% fitness. So if you put the whole thing together, you're going to have yourself an amazing physique. But the first thing you should do, obviously, in my opinion, is get situated on your diet. If you don't know how to do it, there's 1,000,000 people out there. Go find somebody credible and really get them to help you hone in on your diet. Carb cycling or low calorie, or now I'm not a fan of low calorie diets, but low carb diets, and even intermediate fasting, like even doing anything to where you're staying in a caloric deficit, but you're still meeting your requirements for your daily recommended vitamins and minerals and protein and carbs, protein and fat intakes. That's going to be sufficient. So get your diet in check. I promise you can have a nice set of abs and never do any crunches or sit-ups or anything like that. So stop buying all the ab machines and things like that. I promise you, listen, do this. Tighten up your diet. Add 20 minutes of cardio post-workout, 5 days a week or 4 days a week, whichever you choose, however often you frequent the gym. And whenever you do squats, do squats without a weighted belt. It's going to make you engage your core more. If you do any kind of shoulder presses, don't do seated, stand up and do even dumbbell shoulder presses and things like that are going to require you to be up and stabilizing your core. Whenever you're doing any kind of exercise, make sure you're engaging your core. You do that for a month. I promise you, your stomach is going to look a lot flatter and you're going to feel a lot tighter. So that's my tips on how to get abs.